The story starts with an average kid named Dave who nobody knew at school. He only had two friends, Todd and Marty. Dave wasn't really liked by any girls, but he had a big crush on a girl named Katie. Marty also loved reading comic books. One day, while talking with his friends, Dave mentioned how no one had ever become a real-life superhero. Marty chimed in, saying that to be a superhero, you either needed superpowers or a lot of money. Just then, a guy named Chris walked into the cafe. Chris was the spoiled son of a mafia boss named Frank, who ran a chess gambling ring. Dave noticed how rich Chris was, but also how he always seemed to be alone. So, Dave decided to reach out and befriend him, but Chris's bodyguard blocked him. Later, when Dave and his friends left the cafe, some thugs mugged them in the street. Fed up with everything, Dave decided to take matters into his own hands and fight against evil. He ordered a green diving suit online and started training with two sticks tied together, hoping to become a superhero who could help the weak. Meanwhile, Mafia boss Frank and his goons were interrogating a guy named Trey at their hideout. Frank had sent Trey to sell drugs to a Russian gang, but Trey claimed that a guy dressed like Batman had attacked him and stolen all the drugs. However, the Russian gang had told Frank a different story. They accused Trey of keeping the drugs for himself and selling them to others at a higher price. Frank didn't believe Trey, so he ordered one of his men, Joe, to kill him. Next, we meet a guy named Damon, a former cop. Damon was training his 11-year-old daughter, Mindy, in self-defense. He even made her wear a bulletproof vest and fired at her to teach her the importance of protection. Meanwhile, Dave was still training to become a superhero, but he was too scared to jump from buildings. One day, though, he saw the same thugs who had robbed him trying to steal a car. Mustering up courage, Dave donned his suit and tried to stop them, but the thugs stabbed him and ran away. To make matters worse, a car hit him right after, and he was rushed to the hospital. A few days later, Joe told Frank that Trey had sold drugs to the Russian gang again. Realizing that the Russians had lied, Frank ordered Joe to get the drugs back. The next day, Joe caught the Russian boss and confronted him. Though the boss confirmed Trey's story, Joe shoved him into a giant microwave and cooked him to death. After Dave's accident, doctors had placed metal plates in his body. His damaged nerves had made him resistant to pain. So when Dave returned to school, Katie suddenly started talking to him and even asked him out. Dave was shocked. Later, Marty explained that rumors had spread around school that Dave was gay, and that's why Katie was interested. Though confused, Dave didn't correct her because he was too afraid of losing his chance with her. Meanwhile, he was still training to become a superhero, adopting the name Kick-Ass. At the same time, someone filmed Dave fighting those thugs and the video went viral. While sitting in a restaurant with Katie, she mentioned that a guy named Rasul had been harassing her. Angry, Dave told Katie that Kick-Ass would handle it. That night, Kick-Ass showed up to confront Rasul and his goons, but they beat him up badly. Just when things were looking grim, Mindy, now disguised as Hit Girl, came to the rescue and took down the thugs. She revealed that she, too, was a superhero and called her father, Big Daddy, to join the fight. Together, the trio defeated the goons, stole their money, and escaped through the roof. Dave tried to follow them, but got scared of the heights and went home, feeling like a failure. Later, Big Daddy and Hit Girl visited Dave, complimenting his bravery and telling him he could still be a great superhero. Big Daddy invited Dave to join their team, but said he'd need to train hard. He also gave him a special picture to use if he ever needed help. Meanwhile, Joe showed Frank a photo of the day his drugs were stolen. The picture showed Big Daddy's back, but Frank and Joe only knew about one superhero, Kick-Ass. They assumed it was his doing. On the other side, Big Daddy and Hit Girl captured one of Frank's men, Cody. After torturing him, they got intel on Frank's drug operation and killed him. We also meet a cop named Marcus. who searched Damon's house and found a stash of weapons. It's revealed that Damon and Frank used to be cops, but Frank had framed Damon, sending him to prison. Damon's wife had fallen into a depression and nearly died, so when Damon was released, he secretly trained to get revenge on Frank. He made Mindy his partner in crime fighting. Elsewhere, Chris overheard his father's rant about Kick-Ass and came up with a plan. He decided to become a superhero named Red Mist. He would catch one of Frank's drug dealers, hand him over to the cops, and then gain Kick-Ass's trust. Soon enough, Chris became famous in the media and reached out to Kick-Ass online. A few days later, the two met up. Red Mist convinced Kick-Ass that he wanted to join forces to help people, and they headed to Frank's warehouse together. However, when they got there, they found the warehouse in flames. Red Mist grabbed a teddy bear from the wreckage before they escaped. Back at Frank's office, Chris showed his dad the warehouse footage, revealing that Big Daddy was behind the attack. Frank realized his real enemy was Big Daddy, not Kick-Ass. Frank plotted to use Kick-Ass as bait to trap Big Daddy. Meanwhile, Dave had given up on being a superhero after the warehouse incident, but Red Mist sent him desperate emails asking for help. Finally agreed to team up again. He signaled Big Daddy, who invited them to his base. But as soon as they arrived, Red Mist shot Hit Girl, revealing his betrayal. Frank's men stormed in, capturing Big Daddy and Kick-Ass. Soon, a live video of their capture was broadcasted on Kick-Ass's page. As the goons beat them and doused Big Daddy in kerosene, Hit Girl, who was wearing a bulletproof vest, regained consciousness. She turned off the lights and used her night vision to take down the goons, but Big Daddy was set on fire. Even as he burned, Big Daddy coached Hit Girl through the fight until she put out the flames. But by then, it was too late. Big Daddy died. Devastated, Hit Girl freed Kick-Ass, and together they vowed to avenge her father's death. Disguised as a schoolgirl, Mindy infiltrated Frank's office, killing his goons one by one. She then donned her Hit Girl costume and faced off against Frank's men. Out of bullets, she was surrounded, but Kick-Ass swooped in with a jetpack, guns blazing, and took out the rest of the goons. Frank and Chris were hiding in the office, assuming their men had killed Kick-Ass and Big Daddy. But soon, Kick-Ass and Hit Girl burst in, and a fierce battle broke out. Frank fought Hit Girl, while Kick-Ass went up against Chris. Just as Frank was about to kill Hit Girl, Kick-Ass fired a missile that sent Frank flying out the window, killing him. Chris tried to fight Kick-Ass with a sword, but Kick-Ass and Hit Girl escaped on the jetpack just in time. Later, Mindy was placed in the care of Marcus, Damon's old police partner, while Chris, now Red Mist, prepared to take his revenge on Kick-Ass and Hit Girl, vowing to return as a villain. That's the story of Kick-Ass. From zero to superhero, Dave's journey was filled with surprises, action, and some hard lessons. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated with more movie breakdowns. Who do you think is the real hero of this story, Kick-Ass or Hit Girl? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.